This is a multiple choice Algebra 1 Regent question from the January 2017 Regent. The method of completing the square was used to solve the equation 2x squared minus 12x plus 6 is equal to 0. Which equation is the correct step when using this method? So let's start solving using completing the square and see which equation we find while we're solving. So the equation they give us is 2x squared minus 12x plus 6 is equal to 0. Whenever we're solving any equation using completing the square, if our equation is the form y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, a has to be equal to 1, and it's nice if b is even. It's not necessary though. What if a is not 1, like in this case? A is the coefficient of the x squared term, and in this case the coefficient of the x squared term is 2. Is there some way we could rearrange this equation to get a equal to 1? And there is. If we divide the x squared term by 2, we're left with 2's cancel out, we're left with x squared. But we can't just divide one term by 2. If we're dividing that term by 2, we have to divide all of the terms by 2. So negative 12x divided by 2 is negative 6x. Positive 6 divided by 2 is positive 3. 0 divided by 2 is just 0. When we're solving using completing the square, we want the constant on one side and the x squared and the x on the other side. So we're going to subtract 3 and subtract 3. X squared minus 6x is equal to negative 3. We want to make the side of the equation with the x's, in this case it's the left-hand side, into a perfect square trinomial, which means it would be x plus something times x plus the same thing, or x minus something times x minus the same thing. To do that, we're going to take 1/2 of the b term. The b term in this case is negative 6. The b term is the coefficient of the x, so 1/2 of negative 6 is negative 3. And then we're going to square that value. Negative 3 squared is positive 9. We're going to add that number to both sides of the equation. So plus 9 and plus 9. X squared minus 6x plus 9 is equal to negative 3 plus 9. Negative 3 plus 9 is 6. Now we're going to factor the left-hand side of the equation. We need to find factors of positive 9 that add up to negative 6, and we know it's going to be two of the same thing. Factors of positive 9 that are two of the same thing are either positive 3 and positive 3 or negative 3 and negative 3. The factors that add up to negative 6 are negative 3 and negative 3. So the left-hand side of the equation can be rewritten as x minus 3 times x minus 3 is equal to 6. And this can be rewritten. X minus 3 times x minus 3 can be rewritten as x minus 3 squared is equal to 6. And if you look back at the answer choices, x minus 3 squared is equal to 6 is choice 1, which is the answer to the question.